My mother was never my real mother. She gave birth to me, I believe, but she was never an actual mother. She was in her twisted head a little girl, and her children were her dolls. Her life was frozen as a child playing with a dollhouse, unable and unwilling to grow up, and the dolls were her own children. My older sister, myself, and my younger brother grew up in her fantasy, in her head. She was a child in the 60s playing with a dollhouse. She had three dolls, and I was her favorite. I was her favorite because I never knew I was a doll. She could do anything she wanted to me. She threatened me with abandonment, withholding of love, and immense guilt when I didn't play along with her game. I was an only child, and I didn't know what was happening. She forced me to play and didn't even give me a choice if I wanted to or not. She made sure I was never in on her secret. I had no idea that she was playing a sick and twisted game with me and used my emotions to play me. Every friendship I have ever had was manipulated by her to fit into her game. Every thought I have ever had was carefully crafted by her until I was left unable to determine what my own thoughts were. My choices were hers, my actions, my thoughts. Every part of who I am was manipulated by her in her twisted game. Bedtime was one of the worst time for me. She dressed us in the night gowns she chose for us and forced me to believe that I liked mine. She had a spot for each of her dolls in her bed. The checky spot was my spot, right between her legs. As she was sitting up in bed, she would play with my hair at night, much like a little girl plays with a Barbie doll. We would watch a show that she chose, and when it was time for her dolls to go to bed, she would make us cover our faces to block out the TV so she could watch her own grow up show. I hate going to bed and I hate watching TV in bed. It gives me flashbacks and makes it so that I don't feel real. That is why I'm sitting up writing this on no sleep. Bed is a scary place for me because I don't feel quite human. I always knew something was a bit wrong. I always felt like I wasn't quite human growing up, like I wasn't real. I still don't feel real most of the time. I never knew why until I opened my eyes and realized what she was doing. Almost 29 years in the fantasy, and now I'm finally free. I am a human with my own emotions. I keep needing to remind myself. It is hard to write about this. I'm just now coming to terms with what happened. I am open to continuing the story, but I can only do it in small bursts. It is too painful to live through again. If you enjoyed this story, leave a comment or like rating would be awesome. And don't forget to check original post on Reddit.